The New York Jets are one of the biggest offseason winners, according to one Bucky Brooks. We're about to have him on the show to talk all things New York Jets. Boy Green Daily starts now.
Oh my gosh, it's morphin' time! To me, talking New York Jets is my superpower. Boy Green Daily starts now. Wow! Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily.
It's actually just football, man.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teamwork, Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And I am fired up. It's an absolute honor to have this individual on the show. He is a former player in the league. He is a Super Bowl champion. He's the co-host of the Move the Sticks podcast, the Bucky Brooks Show on the Believe Network, former NFL scout. I mean, this guy is the best. Let's bring him in properly. The Mr. Bucky Brooks here on the show. Bucky, thank you for joining us here.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on.
Of course. So, Bucky, I want to start here with Aaron Glenn's entry point as, a coach into the league after his wonderful playing career. He begrudgingly started as a scout because Bill Parcells, used his influence, a important figure in Aaron Glenn's life, and said, hey, you should get in there as a scout first before you just dive into coaching. And he did that for a couple of years before eventually landing here as the Jets head coach. Bucky, you were a scout. What does that provide Aaron Glenn that it doesn't provide other coaches that came in with different entry points in the NFL, do you think? What benefits is there to be a scout first before you get your hands into coaching?
Aaron Glenn had an opportunity to play for and work for Bill Parcells. And what that did is, as a scout, it kind of taught him the foundation, the fundamentals of team building. So he looked at the game through a different prism. Then when you're a player, you look at the game from a certain way. When you're a coach, you look at it a different way. But when you are a scout or part of a front office, you look at it with a long-term vision. And so for Aaron Glenn, because he's had boots on the ground as an evaluator, he knows exactly the type of players he wants. He knows exactly the type of team that he wants to build. And the discussions that he has with the general manager, they're higher end discussions because he's done the work, and that allows them to kind of work together. It kind of makes the collaboration a lot better.
Which is great because that's exactly what Jet fans want between, of course, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. Bucky, I've never questioned you. I've always thought you were right. But I felt even more certain of that when I read your column for NFL.com. We have it in the YouTube description down below. You believe the New York Jets are offseason winners. Couldn't agree more. And you listed some of the reasons why. You seem pretty fired up here that the Jets arrow is pointing in the right direction here, Bucky Brooks.
Yeah, real positive on the Jets. And part of the reason that I'm positive and optimistic is about those things that we talked about in terms of understanding how to build a successful team. And I think Aaron Glenn's experience and a success, not only in terms of like being a player to transition to scouting before he got into coaching, but I think his most recent stop with the Detroit Lions, I think that laid a blueprint out for him to follow. When you think about the Detroit Lions and how they struggled mightily under Dan Campbell that first year, maybe got to 500 that second year before they really took off. I think he understands how to navigate the highs and lows of rebuilding a team. And I think the things that they've done in the offseason have certainly set them up for success. One, when you think about bringing culture changers, meaning the guys that have come on board, the veterans first, Demario Davis, Geno Smith, Mika Fitzpatrick, all those guys have had individual and team success. So when their voice is heard in the locker room, it resonates a little differently because they've been on the other side. They've seen how it goes to get to the other side when it comes to winning. And then when you think about the draft picks, I think it's really important that the first 4 picks that they had came from teams that were in the college football playoff. When you're trying to turn a loser into a winner, you want people who are touched winning, who understand the high standards and the demands and expectations that go along with winning. When you couple in those two factors, veterans who have won at a high level, veterans who've done it the hard way, and then a bunch of young guys who are coming from programs where the standards and expectations are of winning. When you mesh that in the locker room, typically you get a different vibe and a different feeling in the locker room.
Bucky, I'm going to ask you an impossible question. I'm trying to get into the mind of Aaron Glenn here. But when he first arrived a year ago, his message in press conferences and everything else was, we're not afraid to play youth. We're not afraid to be young. And there was even jokes made that he didn't even really like many veterans. There weren't many players over the age of 30 on this roster last season, outside of a rare few. And that was his message. Obviously, the season did not go well. They went 3-14. This offseason, you mentioned it. They've done the complete oppo. Don't know if you're a Seinfeld guy, but George Costanza, they went full oppo and went the other direction with DeMario Davis, Minka Fitzpatrick, David Onyemata, one of my favorites added this offseason. What do you think was in Aaron Glenn's mind last year? He didn't want these veterans. He wanted to go with youth. Obviously, it didn't work. So I guess just do the opposite to try to fix it. But why did Aaron Glenn, in your mind, like as getting to be a head coach for the very first time, he went super young and he was very proud of it. And that's what he wanted to do. And now he's doing a complete opposite direction here in year two. Why do you think that is?
I won't say that it's complete opposite. I think the one thing that he's talked about when he brought those guys in, they're touch points. Guys that he knows, guys that know him, guys that know how he wants the program to operate. I think what he got in and he realized, and even Harrison Phillips, I think, talked about this near the end of the season about the locker room and how some guys have been losing for so long that they are slow to trust and buy into new messaging. Where if you're Aaron Glenn, if you're the head coach, you need to have other guys that can spread your message besides yourself. You can't be the only voice of reason in the room. There has to be other guys who have done it the way that you've done it, who can speak to the process and why the process will work if everyone buys in and does what they're supposed to do. At the end of the day, we all will be rewarded. So DeMario Davis coming in, he knows him obviously from his time with the Saints. You think Onyemata, he knows from the Saints. Minka Fitzpatrick and Geno Smith, he just knows. He knows from around the block. And a lot of times when you've been a great player like he has, other great players will seek your counsel or you have a way of connecting. To me, it was about him just having enough of his guys. You talk about the Parcells era. Parcells, whenever he rebuilt the team, he always had 4 or 5 guys that were his guys that had followed him at every stop along the way because they also could spread those messages. I think after he got into year one and he saw how it went, he probably recognized like, oh, okay, this is a blind spot. This is a hole that I need to fill. We need to make sure we have the right kind of guys in that leadership position. And some of that was to infuse some leadership into the locker room that were kind of his guys that understood how he wanted to go about doing it.
Which feeds into your column. Again, we have a direct link in the YouTube description down below to your NFL.com article. Talk about why you are optimistic about this team and some of the reasons for that optimism. And that's one of those guys. I'm going to be honest, Bucky. I don't know how it is for you, being a Jets guy in here all the time. Like, I'm a little bit in disbelief that Geno Smith is back. I'm like, wow, I was a different man 11 years ago or 10 years ago when he was here, and now he's back again. So it's a little crazy. But now the convoluted thing for some Jet fans is, what the hell happened last year? Was it just the Raiders' ineptitude, their offensive line, and all the craziness that happened last season? Because when you look at those 3 years in Seattle, Bucky, Geno Smith looked really, really good compared to especially what the Jets have gotten here recently. Why are you optimistic about Geno Smith and what he can provide and sort of expectations here for 2026?
Look, I mean, there's no way to excuse what happened in Las Vegas. I mean, he was bad. He was bad, but I would say there were a lot of things that probably led to him being back. One, you had a disconnect between the offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, and the head coach, Pete Carroll, and how the offense was to be run. If you know Pete Carroll, you know that Pete Carroll wants to run the football, use the running game instead of the passing game. And it just didn't appear that Chip Kelly was on board with it. Not saying that Chip Kelly didn't want to run. It just seemed like there was philosophical differences. And then when you looked at the Raiders, they're devoid of talent, to be honest, on the perimeter. Geno Smith is a quarterback like most of them in the league. He plays better when he has better players around him. And when you think about a team that only had Brock Bowers in and out of the lineup, you had a young Ashton Genty. You didn't have an established receiver on the outside that was a true number one. Jacoby Myers was there for a while, but I don't think people will regard him as a number one where you have to change your defense. It impacts the way that you're playing. I equated to Geno Smith was basically playing half-court basketball at the YMCA. They never could get fast breaks. They never could open it up. They never could
Mm.
really use all the things that are the strong parts of his game because they simply didn't have the personnel and people. And finally, I would say he tried to do too much. And look, it's a fatal flaw. Sometimes you get in a situation where, hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it. And in trying to do too much, he turned the ball over too often. In New York, if they kind of stick to the script where they run the football, they lean on an offensive line that should be one of the better ones in the league, a rebuilt cast of perimeter weapons, they run the football with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, he can be more of a distributor, more of a managerial type player than a guy that is the playmaker. And I say that knowing Geno Smith has 2 4,000-yard seasons. The Jets in their team history only have one. That speaks volumes about the ineptitude that's been going on at a position.
And Bucky, let's highlight that a little bit more. That was in 1967. Joe Namath had 4,000 yards. He was the first quarterback in football history to have 4,000 yards. He was the first one to do it. He said, hey, NFL, this is how we do it. And then another Jets quarterback hasn't done it since. So that'd be lovely if Geno Smith can end that drought for us. Again, we're speaking with Bucky Brooks, the legendary Bucky Brooks here on the show, former NFL scout, again, the host of the Bucky Brooks Show right here on the Believe Network here, just like Boy Green Daily here on the program. Now, Bucky, I don't know if Frank Reich needs any advice, but Jet fans would like to know, how do you maximize Kenyon Sadiq, the newest addition to the team, 16th overall, and Mason Taylor, who's a top 50 pick last year? High expectations for Mason. How do you utilize both of these guys now they're on the same roster in the same offense?
You know, I actually think it's a good thing. A few different things that have taken place in the league that will help him maximize it. Last year, there was an explosion of double tight ends or multiple tight end packages where you saw guys get into 12 personnel, one back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 13 personnel. We also saw a lot of that come into play. I pulled it up, the stats. Last year, there were 1,800 plays with 3 tight ends on the field. Wow. And you think about the number of catches that tight ends accounted for. They amassed 2,870 catches last year in the National Football League. So the Jets want to join in on the trend, knowing Frank Reich and going back to something that he said way back when he was at the Indianapolis Colts and they had Eric Ebron and others. He talked about when you have a matchup creator, a guy that can create mismatches, much like a Kenyon Sadiq can do. It is almost playing with LeBron James, meaning I can put this tight end who is a tough matchup for linebackers and safeties on one side of the field in an ISO situation and force the defense's hand. How do they want to play him? Because the way they play him, it leaves vulnerable areas on the other side of the field with Garrett Wilson and Omar Cooper and A.D. Mitchell and even Mason Taylor. So it's about having enough personnel diversity to be able to challenge the defense, attack the defense, and exploit whatever weaknesses that the defense has on a week-to-week basis.
Another piece they have on offense is Breece Hall. He gets extended, 3-year deal, $45.75 million deal, makes him the 3rd highest paid running back in football. There was a lot of debate on social media, Bucky Brooks, about what the Jets should do considering their position, where they are. They end up signing him. Was that the right decision in your mind, Bucky Brooks?
You can never go wrong signing good players, and there's no doubt that he is a really good player. In fact, you can debate about his ability to maybe be the offensive rookie of the year. I think he came in the same year as Garrett Wilson. Correct. And the injury kind of shortchanged it and derailed it. But when you look at how he plays, when they give him the ball and they allow him to cook, he's proven to be one of the top backs in the league. Now it's about putting him in a position where you can do more things that he has available to his game. We've seen a lot about him running inside and outside. We've seen him catch the ball a fair amount, but what we haven't seen him do is really max out what he could be as a playmaker and utilizing all of those skills coming out the backfield to enhance their passing game. When I think about Frank Reich and I think about what they have available now, when we read off the names on this offensive lineup, when you have Garrett Wilson on one side, you have A.D. Mitchell or Omar Cooper playing 2, Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq playing 2 tight ends, the 2 backs that are interchangeable in terms of Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. You have an ability to really create a bunch of different matchups, a bunch of different styles of play that you can morph in and out of. That is problematic, particularly when you have a young offensive line that is growing and that is, by all accounts, playing very, very well. I think you can be optimistic that this offense is going to be much better because the guy that's calling the plays is much better than what they've had.
Bucky, you said it earlier that, this offensive line has a chance to be really good. And one of the reasons I have to imagine that you're optimistic about it is you look at the edges, baby. Olu Muiwa at left tackle. You got Armand Membu at right tackle. How good can this tandem be? Because it's very unique, Bucky, to have both of your tackles young on their rookie contracts and guys that have the euro pointing up. How good should Jet fans feel about these two bookend tackles?
They should feel really good about it. When you spend first-round picks on guys, you want them both to hit like those two guys have hit. And the development process is one where it takes time. It takes a lot of time on task, reps to develop the continuity and chemistry that you need to be a really, really good offense, and particularly on the offensive line because 5 have to play as one. And what they've done is they put a good nucleus in place where they should be able to do that. And I think about the physicality that they want to play with. In my mind, I know that Aaron Glenn wants to play in a way like Detroit played, where it was what I call fun and physical. It was fun because they had all the pizzazz. They could do all those things that you wanted to see, but it was physical because they ran the football and they ran it with multiple backs. To me, in a perfect world, the Jets would be that kind of team. They would be an exotic smash mouth team that can run it when they need to run it when they want to run it, but also they have enough depth and talent that they can make you pay for overcommitting to the running game.
All right, Bucky, we're live right now. We got a couple hundred people in the room and very appreciative of that. We have a super chat coming in from the audience. Kyle Clifton, every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna. Wow. Shout out to Zariah there. Kyle Clifton, a $10 super chat here says, Bucky, as a scout, how do you view Cade Klubnik? I noticed he wasn't in your top 5 quarterbacks or in Daniel Jeremiah, the co-host of the brilliant Move the Sticks podcast, top 150 overall either. What are the Jets missing, or is it a worthy dart throw in your mind, Bucky?
Oh, I think it's a worthy dart throw. When you're drafting players in the 4th round, what you're doing in essence is you're saying the 4th through 7th rounds are where the developmental players are drafted. And what the Jets are saying is, look, we think Cade Klubnik has enough redeeming qualities to be a developmental prospect, someone that can develop into either a capable starter or a credible backup in our system. And what they wanted to do is take advantage of someone who is, look, he's been through his fair share of adversity at Clemson, but he played for a really good program. He played for a really good coach. He understands the standards and expectations of being a winner, even though that last season at Clemson was not what he nor Dabo or anyone around Clemson would want at 7-6. To me, there is something about having a guy that is experienced, who's had his fair share of ups and downs, and he's come on the other side of it. Whatever adversity he went through at Clemson will help him with the New York Jets. And if you're the Jets, you are trying to find someone who could be a valuable backup or maybe more. And with Cade Klubnik in the 4th round, it was well worth making the move they did to make sure that they got him, because he has been a quarterback that has been well regarded, highly thought of throughout the process. He just wasn't one of those guys that finished his college career where he was worthy of being a guy that merited top 5 consideration in my thing, and also in the top 150 for DJ.
Bucky, let me ask you a quick follow-up here, because as a scout, how much, stock do you put into there's been this term thrown around. It's some young hip lingo thing kids are using about aura, and there's some swagger. There's some it factor about Cade Klubnik. Mm-hmm. He was there at rookie minicamp, and we're apparently garnering all of that off a 34-second slow motion video of him running out with the locks, and people said he looks a little Trevor Lawrence, a little Chad Pennington action. It's what people are seeing with the 10 jersey number. You put any stock in it factor, aura, some of that stuff that it's hard to sort of put into words on your scouting sheet?
Yeah, your quarterback has to have a little swag or aura to him. And that aura that you're alluding to is, does he feel like he's a winner? Does he do things to make everyone in the building feel like we're going to win? Does he change the temperature of the room? We talked about you can be a thermostat leader, that you change the temperature when you come into the room. And so Cade Klubnik is one of those guys. He does have that kind of personality. He does have an unshakable and an unwavering confidence in his abilities. Now, you have to play to that. You can't just be a guy who walks around with the swag, but then when it's time to perform, you drop duds. You have to play. But I think the confidence that you see from him is a guy who feels fairly certain that he's going to figure out how to play successfully at the NFL level. There are a lot of things, a lot of steps that he has to take before he's able to get there and be a major contributor. But I think, look, it's a solid pick in the 4th round. It is one of those where you want to see what he looks like when he has a chance to go against Brady Cook, and all those other guys that are already in the fold.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn already said we're going to see him a ton in the preseason, so get ready for some preseason hype months ahead of time. Bucky, one more on this, and then we can move on. As a scout, was that the hardest thing to do? Because you could see the games, you could see the speed and the this and the that when you're looking at all the measurements, the combine numbers, pro day numbers, and things of that nature. Is that intangible quality of trying to figure out whether someone has it or not? When you get to go to pro days and you get to go through the whole process of being a scout and trying to ascertain that information from your sources around the league, was that the most difficult thing as a scout for you and for any scout to try to calculate that intangible when they report back to the team and submit those draft reports?
Yeah, and that's why I like the controversy that kind of took place at the draft or shortly after the draft when people talk about consensus boards and how that relates to teams. The number one thing that a scout has to be able to evaluate outside the normal talent, whether the guy can play in the league, and the core values in terms of what are the football character traits that he exhibits. The number one thing that you're looking for as a scout is how does he fit in our scheme and within our culture? Does his game fit what we ask our guys to do at his position? Does he have those skills that translate well to being able to play in our system, in our scheme? Secondly, how does he fit in our locker room? So if we, for instance, let's just say the Jets are prided themselves in having a blue collar type team, like hard hat, lunch bill, guys that come to work, guys that don't take plays off, guys that do extra. That's kind of the expectation around the building. Where your job as a scout is to make sure that that is a part of who he is, that he's not a guy that's the last one in, first one out, that it's in reverse. He's the first one in, the last one out. Extra is his ordinary, and so he has extraordinary work habits in those things. All of that matters. And when we talk about Cade Klubnik and some of the other guys in this draft class, when you dig in their background, they do have that blue-collar feel that they're trying to create in New York, and it's one of the reasons why you should be optimistic about this class being a big part of the team turning it around at some point.
All right, a few more, and then we're getting Bucky Brooks out of here on the program. Let me ask you about Aaron Glenn. He's calling plays, which was also in your column for NFL.com. It's in the YouTube description down below. He didn't call plays last year. He got hired, and he assigned that role to Steve Wilks. It did not work, of course. Steve Wilks was fired at the end of last year. Aaron Glenn's taking it over. How confident should Jet fans feel about Aaron Glenn calling plays? Because last year didn't go well when he had his normal head coaching responsibilities. Now he has to call plays simultaneously while also being the head coach.
I'll say this, and I'll say, like, as a head coach, you don't know what you don't know until you get in it. It's a job that nothing prepares you for being a head coach. Being a very successful coordinator does not necessarily translate into great results as a head coach because the two job descriptions are completely different. I will say this, though. Every player, every coach, every front office executive should always play to their strengths. And one of the superpowers, as Aaron Glenn described it, is he felt like calling plays is his superpower. And when you watch his teams back in Detroit, how they adapted, because I watched those guys, and one, I'll say full disclosure, Aaron Glenn and I have a friendly relationship. We were in the same draft class. We've been friends throughout the years. When I watched him in Detroit, he went from being a guy that had to play man-to-man with what he had to not having enough to do that, to going to zone, to going back to man-to-man and bringing pressure. Last year, I would say that there were probably philosophical differences in the way he wanted the defense to go. I love Steve Wilks. I'm a friend of Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks is a great D coordinator when he plays the way that he wants to play, with zone, guys, veteran presence, doing those things. AG is far more aggressive when it comes to the pressure and also in terms of trying to take away the layups on the perimeter by doing press coverage. To me, it makes more sense. If you want to get the job done right, you want to do it your way. I think him taking the call sheet really matters. And I think you're also seeing this at a time where more head coaches are doing that. Former Jets head coach Robert Saleh going to Tennessee, he's saying, I'm going to call the defense. He didn't do that in New York. I think more guys want to take control of their own fate by being able to say, look, let me do what I've done well to get to this point. Why would I give that up? And this is Aaron Glenn acknowledging, yeah, I should never give up something that I'm really good at.
I respect that. Let's finish off in the secondary. To me, Bucky, this is one of the coolest scouting things like of all time. The Jets signed a guy named Nashawn Wright from the Chicago Bears. He's a Pro Bowler last year. He's got the size, he's got the measurables and everything. And last year was awesome. If you look at an individual player in terms of takeaways, picks, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, And Nashawn Wright had more takeaways than anybody in the league when he added up all those stats together as an individual player. Yet before last year, he had never started more than 2 games in a season, and he bounced around the league. And it just goes to show that, there's probably some grocery baggers out there that never got their shot. Nashawn Wright gets his shot with the Bears last year, and now he makes it into what it is. Like, what is Nashawn Wright? Is he the guy that was sort of barely hanging on in the league, or is he a Pro Bowl corner, or somewhere in between? I mean, the Jets only had to pay him a 1-year deal, max value of $5.5 million, so that's sort of baked into the price of risk. But man, to me, he's fascinating because he has all these traits, and obviously it all came together last year. But last year's the only sample size we have here in the pros, Bucky.
Well, here's why you need to feel confident that it'll continue to work out. A few different things. I talked earlier about the most important thing that scouts can do with the player is how does he fit into your scheme and your environment. You have to understand Aaron Glenn and Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, not only did they work together in New Orleans, running the same defense, but their teammates going back to their college days at Texas A&M.
Wow.
So Aaron Glenn knows exactly what was asked of Nashawn Wright. And so he is likely going to ask him to do the same things that he did successfully in Chicago. That is really important backstory when you think about, well, why would he want to go to New York? Why would he play there? Because it's going to be the same system. He's going to be asked to do the same things. And he should have a lot of success because they think and view the game through similar lenses. The other part about it is I think they'll be better. They're going to be better up front. And no matter what we say, when you're not able to consistently generate a pass rush, it's hard to get turnovers. And people have talked about they didn't get any interception. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. It all works together. The front end impacts the back end. And if the front end isn't forcing the quarterback to throw it under duress, you don't have as many opportunities to get turnovers off tips and overthrows. This year, what you're hoping is David Bailey and others are able to do it. You think about Will McDonald. They're able to just create persistent pressure that forces more hurried throws. And then you hope the tighter coverage, meaning more press coverage on the outside, leads to tighter windows. And at some point, those ricochets, those deflections, they end up falling their way into the hands of green guys like the Jets, and they finally get some turnovers.
Blessed be he, Bucky. Let's pray to the Lords above that we could get some of that. Last one here is this. How much gas in the tank does Minkah Fitzpatrick have, do you believe, Bucky Brooks?
I think he has a lot of gas, but I think it's going to look differently than it's looked before. I think when people think about gas, they think about athleticism and the way he moves around. I think now it's a transition that veterans have where it is going to be more IQ and instincts and awareness and less about the physical stuff with Minkah. Because Minkah has played so many snaps, he's been in the league for so long, the game is going to be like slow motion. So what you're counting on for Minkah to do is to make sure that he is the conductor. He's the maestro in the back end. He gets everyone lined up doing what they're supposed to do, and then he makes the plays that are there to be made like a vet does, like a vet sets traps for young quarterbacks and those things. So there's still plenty enough gas left athletically. Now I think it's more of a chess game for Minkah Fitzpatrick as opposed to a physical game, an athletic game.
Bucky, you're a legend. I've been reading your columns. I've been seeing you on NFL Network all my life. Move the Sticks podcast. And the Bucky Brooks Show here on the Believe Network. It's been electric. So, Bucky, this was an absolute honor and absolutely everything in between to have you on the show, man. So thank you so much for taking the time, sir.
No, thanks for having me on, man. Make sure all your people subscribe to the Bucky Brooks Show on Believe. A lot of fun.
There we go. Bucky, you have a great day, my friend.
Appreciate you.
There he is. Bucky, gosh darn Brooks, baby. Wow, that was electric. So salute to Bucky Brooks joining us on the friggin' show. We'll keep the show going. We'll answer your phone calls and everything else here on the program, but an absolute salute. Guys, make sure right now you got going over to the Bucky Brooks Show on the Believe Network and show your love. Kyle Clifton, thank you so much for the question. Great question. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe that just happened. Seriously, Bucky Brooks, another guy that's been on my guest bucket list for a very long time. Shout out to the Believe Network. That is where you guys can enjoy this show in the audio-only form. We just moved over to the Believe Network over the last week, and my new Believe Network teammate, Bucky Brooks, of all people, joined us on the show. So, wow. That is a pinch me interview right there, folks. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Man, we'll certainly write about a lot of what he said. We'll, for heavy.com, you guys will be able to check out some of those columns. We'll cut up some of those shorts as well to break down some of that conversation for people that did not see that interview. So, folks, this is why you're here on Boy Green Daily, baby, for spectacular guests. And we're going to keep cooking, baby. That won't be the last one, that's for sure. Make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe. We have a couple hundred people in the room here. And appreciate you, including over 150 on YouTube, baby. Let's hit that friggin' like button. Let's see how many gosh darn likes we have here on the show. Come on, we just had Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network, former player, Super Bowl champion. Hell, he helped knock off the Patriots in the Super Bowl, baby. Bucky is a forever friend here on the Jets Network. That's for damn sure. Hell yeah. 51 likes, over 150 people in the room. Let's fix that, folks. Let's like the video and hit subscribe here on the frickin' channel. Also, we got the schedule dropping on Thursday. We got some hints yesterday about what could be and what could not be. We'll talk about some of that here on the show as well. So let's take, and I am too, Chupfer Club. You're losing your gosh darn banana. So am I. We just had Bucky Brooks on the show, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, yeah. Bucky Brooks, what a legend. I'm still pitching myself. We just had Bucky Brooks on the show, baby. Yeah. I freaking have been watching that guy since I was a kid, man. That is amazing. Beautiful. Mark Cicchetti, what does the network do for you, Boy Green? I appreciate you asking. The Believe Network. We've talked a little bit about it. What the Believe Network does, my friends out there in the audience, for those that listen to the audio-only version, if you've been listening to the audio-only version, nothing has changed. You could still listen to it in all the same places, and also you can listen to it on the Believe Network specifically. But what it really does is it does open up contacts that I didn't have previously. Bucky Brooks being a prime example. I've known of Bucky Brooks, but just knowing people and being able to get people on your show is a massive difference. So Bucky Brooks is a new Believe Network teammate. That's a perk of being in the Believe Network, is having that opportunity. Believe Network recruited me hard. They said they wanted Boy Green Daily over there, which is very humbling to hear that out there in the universe. That melts my heart. That's cool. It's cool that they wanted Boy Green Daily. It's cool that they thought so much of it. But the only reason they thought so much of it, people, the only reason they did is because of you fans out there in the audience. That's the reason why. Is because you guys have supported the show, and thus it went on their radar, and that's how it all went. So that's a reason why, baby. That's a reason why. But what does the network do? In a couple of short words. It helps promote my show. So there's commercials for Boy Green Daily out there on the Believe Network TV channels and their audio networks. So there's going to be promotion for the channel to get it in front of a larger audience. There's going to be a contact list to access new guests that I've never had on the show, which I love to do for you guys. There's a couple regulars we have, which I'm very cool with. Bob Letter every Friday. We have Nick Faria every Thursday. Hop on Pop and Jets Worldwide. Like, we have a lot of regular guests, which I really enjoy, and you can build chemistry and have a lot of fun. But I also think it's cool to have new conversations with people. Bucky Brooks, obviously, being one of them. So it opens up new possibilities from that perspective of guests. And there may be some advertising opportunities. We will see. I'll tell you guys this real quick story. One of my other jobs used to be in the radio business working with the New York Yankees. Ooh, I know Frankie's like, woo, Yankees, go Yanks. But I used to do some audio stuff with the Yankees behind the scenes. In my radio career over the last 11 years, at a point, I was working a little bit with the Yankees. And with all due respect, listening to a Yankees broadcast and being behind the scenes for it, I had to keenly listen to everything they were saying. And well, if you've ever listened to a audio broadcast of the Yankees, they're like, hey, this oxygen is brought to you by blah, blah, blue. I'm going to take a sip of water. This sip of water is brought to you by blah. And it was just overwhelming sponsorship, which was sort of nauseating, to be honest with you. It was. So I take those lessons from when I was just a wee producer back in the day to now, is that if I bring any sponsors on this show, I want it to be sponsors that make sense. I want it to be sponsors I believe in. I don't want to overwhelm with sponsors. I don't want the oxygen I'm breathing, the drinks I'm drinking, the everything in the universe. Like, you can't breathe. Like, it's overwhelming a sponsor. So it's a fine line. But if a sponsor loves the show and they want to work with me, I'd be open to it. That creates more money for my family. Hopefully that's cool brands. You guys hear like, oh, wow, I'd love to be a part of whatever that is. So I'm going to be very careful with it. But that's another thing that they do. They help put me in sponsorship opportunities, things of that nature, which I think are pretty cool too. So thank you for asking, Mark. And again, it's been a beautiful relationship so far. NC Green, let's get a super chat in here. Appreciate you.
Wow.
$5 super chat here. BG, stop being surprised. You get guys like Bucky. You've earned it. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that, NC Green. Thank you. But to me, I hope I never lose what I just had there for that Bucky Brooks interview. Before a big interview like that, I get nervous, right? You guys don't see me before the show starts, but I'm going over my notes. I'm just breathing, and I'm like, wow, this is a massive interview. I don't want to mess anything up. I did my research ahead of time. I did my homework. I got stats from his career or highlights from his career. Are all those right? Are the questions, follow-up questions? Again, a very important part of the interview process is listening to your guests. Do not just have, for future people that want to do podcasts, here's a lesson you didn't ask for. Don't just write 5 questions on the sheet and you stick to your 5 questions. That's bad interviewing. You need to, it's a conversation. It's not an interrogation. I'm not saying, hey, Bucky, here's my question. Give me my answer. No, it's a conversation. There's fun. He says things that I don't expect. And then I'm like, whoa, let's go down that road. What did you just say? That's a key piece. You got to listen to your guests that are joining on your show. Have smart follow-ups. Get comfortable. Have a conversation. Break down the walls, right? You bring people on. You don't have instant chemistry with everyone in the universe. People have their walls down. I want to disarm them. I want to get their arms down. Hey, we're just having a conversation. Pretend no one else is here. Just me and you talking here. That's it. That's a key. That's a magic sauce to me of interviewing. Is disarming the person, getting their guard down so they can just have a conversation. I feel like that's the rawest, most genuine chats you can have. I think the audience benefits. But the thing, stop being surprised. You get guys like Bucky, you've earned it. I appreciate that. But I hope the thing that I keep forever, I hope I'm doing the show Boy Green Daily at 80. And I hope when I'm doing those interviews, I have the same childlike enthusiasm I have of like, wow, Bucky Brooks, wow, this guy. And hopefully you guys can feel that energy because it's genuine. It's not made up. So while I appreciate that, NC Green, I hope that never leaves me. Till the day I die, I hope that never leaves me. That's a really cool part of this that I always feel like I have my dream job here, which is super cool. So thank you, NC Green, for the $5 super chat here on the program. You have 13 raffle tickets for our contest. More on that in a little bit. Appreciate it. Nice. Love it. Here we go. All right, we have some other super chats and memberships coming in. Let's go. Chub for Club, baby, gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here on the program. Hit it. YouTube membership here. Chub for Club, baby. Yeah. Love to see it, Chub for Club. Thank you so much, buddy. That is 3 raffle tickets for you, good sir. I see more memberships are being gifted. Then we'll catch up on where all these memberships went to here on the program. Let's freaking go. Look at this. It's Harvey Bouchard Jr., baby, gifting a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Wahoo! Oh, yeah. 5 memberships or more gifted. We got to play something. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go.
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
That's what I'm talking about. Harvey Bouchard Jr., 5 raffle tickets to our contest. Let's read all these new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right. Let's read these new members. Chub for Club. That membership went to Goose McGee. Shout out to you, Goose. Harvey, your memberships went to Joel, Brian Rapp, Wild Chew, Wavy Jet Sky, Rick Jets. All right. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, everybody. Wahoo! Yes. Boom shakalaka. Appreciate all the love, everybody. And if you guys are new to the channel, every $3 you spend on the channel gets you a raffle ticket. Let's throw up the contest. And also, we have a plug for something that's coming up here in a couple of months. So yeah, baby, we're freaking loaded here on Boy Green Daily. This is great. Absolutely spectacular. Fun start to the show to the one and only Bucky Brooks for joining us. But yes, here you go. Every $3 you spend throughout the entire month of May makes you eligible for all these fabulous prizes. A Garrett Wilson Funko Pop. Booyah. A New York Jets polo. Booyah. A New York Jets sideline hat with a cream and a Kelly green sideline color. There for a historic hat. Boom. All these will be given away on June 1st. To be eligible, all you have to do is spend $3. Obviously, all of those items are worth much more than $3. So it's a deal for you. I highly recommend everyone in the universe that subscribes to the Boy Green Coffee Club if you're not already, which is free to do. You could join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's $2.99 a month or $5.99 a month for the Espresso Club, or subscribe to the channel. That is for free. My favorite flavor. Love free. Free's great. So subscribe to the channel and join the army, baby. But yes, if you want to get involved in the raffle tickets, we try to make it as cheap as possible. Get as many of you people out in the audience involved. I love it. So all you have to do is spend $3 per ticket. The more tickets you buy, the more your odds increase, of course. But take full advantage, baby. Thank you, Chubb for Club. Thank you, Harvey Bouchard Jr. Another super chat coming through from our buddy, Return of the Mac, Mahar Khalil.
Wow.
Good morning, BG and the Coffee Club. When I thought this offseason show couldn't get any better, you're bringing an amazing guest, Bucky bleeping Brooks, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great. Shout out to Bucky. He lived up to all the hype. Sometimes they say, hey, don't interview certain people because, it's going to destroy your image of them. Certainly not the case with Bucky Brooks. So many intelligent answers. I didn't feel like sometimes, you do this for a profession. You ask someone a question, they don't have a good answer, and then they just sort of talk around and don't answer anything. It was cool. Bucky Brooks on one of my questions was the Kenyon Sadiq Mason Taylor question. He had notes. He was looking around. I'm like, what is he in my head? I'm like, what is he looking for? And he pulls out a research note and says, actually, here's how often teams used 12 personnel, 13 personnel last season. I'm like, whoa, he just had that stat available on a sheet of paper on his desk. Wow, cool. So, yeah, I just felt like he delivered, man. When I had questions, he had answers. And that to me is really cool. In that guest interview relationship. So, Mac, appreciate that. Another raffle ticket to the contest, buddy. Nice. Thank you very much. An easy super chat coming in. Let's roll.
Wow.
Easy with a $2 super chat. He says, BG, you're a pro. Don't be a fanboy. Trust your skills. I appreciate that, Easy. Thank you. Yes, back in the day, I won't lie. I used to fanboy a lot, or fangirl, whatever it's called. I used to do that a lot where, especially, I've done some cool things. I'm not going to lie. And I'm still 33. I'm still young. Hopefully I got a lot more to do. But, being at the draft, or I'm trying to think of other Hall of Fame. So for instance, Hall of Fame, I was a credentialed media member, man. I'm running into some pretty important people behind the scenes, but you can't ask for autographs or ask for pictures. You just have to be a pro. You're a media professional. So you can't do any of that kind of stuff. So there were times where I wanted to go, holy crap, it's this Hall of Famer. Whoa. But I didn't. Kept it professional. But in the right environment, I got crazy. For instance, at the draft, I was not credentialed media. I was just a fan. So I could just let it loose, let it rip, baby. Yeah. So that was great. But good advice, Easy. Good advice. Trust the skills. Went to school for this, so let's see it. Another super chat coming in. Our good buddy, the Tennessee Jet, of course. Let's get him involved.
Wow.
Tennessee Jet $2 super chat says, just tuned in. Could Clubby really be the guy? Well, we certainly hope so, Tennessee Jet. We certainly hope so, my friend. And hey, a great question from Kyle Clifton. Very direct question with some direct points. Again, that also is another reason that really revs my engine, is that he was ready for that question. Because Kyle's like, hey, man, you didn't have him in your top 5. And Daniel Jeremiah didn't have him in his top 150. Like, what gives? Like, why should we feel whatever? I'll be curious to hear when Kyle calls in either today or later this week to hear how he felt like Bucky answered his question and whether he felt good about it or not. So, yes, just tuned in Tennessee Jet. I know you normally ask with a super chat, like, what I miss. Well, make sure you rewind the conversation either live now or do it later because it's on demand immediately after, of course. The Bucky Brooks interview. He spoke to me for 30 minutes, a new teammate on the Believe Network. Well worth it. I can't recommend it enough. A terrific conversation with Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network and so many other things as we documented. Former player, Super Bowl champion, Bucky Brooks show on the Believe Network, Move the Sticks podcast with Daniel Jeremiah, who is another one on my bucket list. We'll have him on the show eventually. I know it for sure. So, yeah, I believe he can be Tennessee Jet. That's the exciting thing about a rookie. You see progress. You see the arrow pointing in the right direction, doing the right things. Like on his draft coach, like, send me the playbook, coach. Then we hear at rookie minicamp, he's organizing guys in their team hotel in like a stuffed closet where they don't have a lot of room to run through the plays that they were given. Like, man, leadership traits, man. Who knows if that's going to translate, right? You could do all those things behind the scenes and then not have it when we're all here. But I'm feeling pretty good right now, man. Feeling pretty good. Appreciate that, Tennessee Jet. Thank you for the super chat coming in. Oh, yeah. Cade Klubnik. Let's bleep and go. Ooh, another super chat coming in. They're raining from the high heavens.
Wow.
$2 super chat from Fastest Food Reviews, a.k.a. Chef Kevin Gilbert. Great stuff, BG. Good morning to the Coffee and Espresso Club. Yes, Chef Kevin Gilbert, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel with his son, Fastest Food Reviews. They're blowing the hell up, baby. They're blowing the hell up, and for good reason. Him and his son. It's awesome. I love the YouTube channel. Gives me a good laugh or a smile or what. It's terrific. And yes, the champ is here. Fastest Food Reviews, the king. Yes, let's go. Beautiful. Shout out to Fastest Food Reviews, a.k.a. Chef Kevin Gilbert. Let's go. Appreciate you. All right, let's do this before we take a timeout and before we go to the phone lines. Okay? Before we do that, I want to give a huge, monumental shout-out, folks, to the Gangrene Beach Club, baby. On July 11th, join me at Atlantic City, the HQ2 Beach Club. Look at all these wonderful people that are going to be there. We're talking media members. We're talking Jets content creators. Jake Asman of the Jets Collective podcast. Rich Samini of ESPN and the Jets Collective podcast. Brandon Tierney, super fan. Fireman Ed. Connor Hughes. Antoine Staley. Brian Costello. Ryan Sampson. Zach Rosenblatt. Will Parkinson. Frankie V. Omari Brown. Matt O'Leary. Green Bean, Ryan Delaney. Look at all these people. Richie from Jets Media, Robbie Sabo, Dom C, Joe Blewett, Nick Feria, Boy Green. Yes, I'm going to be there. Hell yeah. Let's go. We got Bree Martinez, Nick Shine, Tyson from Let's Talk Jets. Look at this amazing pack of people that are going to be together. A lot of them I've never met. I've never met Green Bean. I'm going to be like, Dad? It's going to be great. I can't wait to meet all these people. Can't wait to meet you guys out there in the audience too. So guys, here is the important details. If you guys want to come to us on Saturday, July 11th at Atlantic City, it's the Gangrene Beach Club, GGBC. Go to gangrenebeachclub.com. Gangrenebeachclub.com. Tickets are $25 a person. So join us. Have a good time. Have some fun. Bring the family. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have there with my family. We won't be there for the party part. I will be. My family won't. It's 21 or older. My fiance will likely be looking after our children. But yes, join me and a bunch of other awesome people. Wear green and white, I've been told several times. Doors open at 12, goes through 6. Beautiful. 21 and over. Let's freaking go. It's going to be awesome. So the Gangrene Beach Club, go to gangrenebeachclub.com for more details. All right, one more. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is going to be a historic show. I could just feel it in my bones. 20 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships were just gifted out there in the audience from the #1 Austria Jets fan in UC. Wow. One's up, baby. One's up for our number one Austrian Jet fan, gifting a freaking fresh, cold 20-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club membership.
Indiana. So a little more help for Gangrene.
A little more help for Gangrene, indeed. That is 57 raffle tickets for our number one Austrian Jets fan. Let's go!
So for a team that didn't have one interception last year, they're trying to help themselves out. We got an option here in.
Oh, yeah. Still in first place, Austrian Jets fan, right where you belong. Love it. Let's read these 20 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and then we'll take a HEP timeout, and then we'll welcome in your phone calls here on the show, reacting to the Bucky Brooks gosh darn interview. I almost got lost there in the sauce. I'm so excited, and I'm over the moon about it. And, of course, the Jet schedule. We could get some of that in. There's some notes and quotes, some hints of where perhaps the Jets are leaning. We'll get into that here in just a second. Let's read the 20 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club here. A Jets fan forever, Bobby DiMucci, Gio Gori, Dennis Garcia, David Dean, Thomas. Let's go. Brandon Roberts, Roba Runs, Miyu Ring, Dave from News Brunswick is back. Welcome back, Dave. Eli Betts, Oak Freeman, Swamp Ranger is back. Good to see Swamp Ranger in the building. It's been a while. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Sam Massaro, Black Spock Whirl, Wolf. Oh, sorry for butchering that. The JSN Junior, NY Jets Indy. Let's see. CT Ranks, Richard Hickey, Christopher Greedy. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Let's ride, baby. Let's ride. All right. Well, so thank you, Austrian, so much. Appreciate you. All right. Let's open up the phone lines. We'll have a HEP timeout, and we'll welcome in your phone calls next. Bucky Brooks, NFL schedule. Anything on your mind is free to happen right after this.
1, 2, 3.
You heard the man. Let's go. Let's fire him up, everybody. We got a couple hundred people in the room. We just had Bucky Brooks on the bleeping show, baby. This was terrific. We have 130 of you guys watching here on YouTube. We're now 2 subscribers away from 8,630. We surpassed 8,620. Now we're 2 away from 8,630 as we continue that climb towards 10,000 subscribers. So let's freaking go, everybody. Phone lines are open. That's youtube.com/boygreen25. You'd like to call into the show, feel free to do so. Take advantage. Whether you're a first-time caller or a long-time caller, you're accepted all the same. And again, don't forget, Gangrene Beach Club, baby, at Atlantic City. And thank you, everybody, for emails and texts and nice things for the family. So some nice, fun family events I'll be able to do. I appreciated all those messages coming in over the last 24 hours or so. It was very sweet. So thank you, everybody that reached out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, giving suggestions on what me and the family can do when the party's not going on, because I want to spend some quality time with the family. So thank you, everybody that reached out. I really appreciated that. It was very sweet. So let's get to the phone lines here on the program. We'll kick it off with HEP.
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas.
Yeah, Atlantic City, you're gonna have plenty to do. There's so many rides and stuff on the boardwalk itself. I wouldn't
Yeah.
go. I wouldn't leave the boardwalk with the family though.
I
Stay on the
just
board.
heard it. I have to tell you, Hap, I just received a call yesterday of someone else warning me about the same thing. Like, hey, man, there's a lot to do, a lot of fun stuff, but don't do this. Don't venture off. And
Yeah.
so you warned me. I've received another warning. I am listening to that like nobody's business. I am
Yeah.
staying on the straight and narrow.
And keep your phone hand. Don't leave. They have a lot of those phone bandits and stuff. So
Yeah.
just keep your.
Okay.
Just be New York. You go down there and go. You watch
Yeah.
them. You have your
Be
space, and
cautious.
don't come in my
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
But
100%.
it's going to be great. It's going to be a really good
Awesome.
time. Mrs. Hepp was talking about wanting to come down and
Ooh.
maybe get a hotel room for that night, so we don't have to schlep all the way back to New York.
Right.
We could enjoy
Which
ourselves.
Which let me say this real quick, because like this is another note. I know there's only so much we can say when I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs that here's everything that's going on. So for people who don't know, for this Gang Green Beach Club event, which I'll bring back up here, okay? So you do not have to stay at this hotel if you don't want to. You do not have to stay here. You can stay at any hotel you want, whatever you want. Hell, you don't even have to stay at a hotel if to your point, me and you have longer treks. So I will be staying at a hotel, but you don't have to. If you just want to come for the day for the party, which again, doors open at 12, it closes at 6. So like you could just come do that and say thanks everybody, and then just go home wherever you live. So you don't have to. And if you do stay at a hotel, it doesn't have to be this one. You could stay at any hotel that you want. So completely open. It sounds like that's what you and Mrs. Hap are considering. So 100% that is open for that perspective. Just want to make sure I get that in there.
I had done a residency at the Tropicana, and that was really a lot of fun. We used to go to Carmine's in there, and it was family style. And it's just totally great stuff. Awesome. But as I did go to an event that Green Bean had done years ago.
Cool.
He did a Coney Island cyclone trip, and what we did was we all met there. That's when I met Snowball for the first time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I met Green Bean, I met Jeremy, a bunch of other people. I can't, because it's kind of a little hectic when you get there.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We all got on the Cyclone, and I don't know if you never probably rode the Cyclone, but it's a really crazy old timey roller coaster that feels like it's going to fall down.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. I don't like roller coasters in general. And then that description makes me never want to go anywhere near that thing for the rest of my life. But good for those that enjoy it. Yeah.
It is totally scary. It feels like you're falling out of the seat when you go down that first plunge,
Yeah, that
so
sounds
we're going
dramatic.
up, and it's really slow and rickety. And Green Bean's going, all right, ready. JETS. That is crazy.
Well, that sounds historic. That sounds like something I would never forget for the rest of my life. So, wow. Okay.
Yeah, really fun. But I'm looking forward to Klubnik. I think I like just something about him. He just exudes something that the other guys didn't exude, and we'll see. We'll see him in preseason, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Hep. Appreciate it. Yeah, there is. It's sort of like Hep. It's hard to put your finger on. I mean, there is cool stuff like he's wearing the 10 jersey. He's got the hair and all that stuff, and that's all aura. And we're just talking about that with Bucky. I can't believe I asked a aura question to Bucky Brooks, but here we are. No, there's something about him. I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but it just feels like there's something there. Maybe there's nothing. I don't know. We've drafted plenty of quarterbacks in the 4th round that have later been lit on fire. So we'll see what happens. Interesting. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines here. Hey, this guy asked a super chat question. The Kyle Clifton super chat question could be another background he employs in the future. But Kyle, I am fascinated. You asked this question. Let me highlight it back again. Let's run this back up. We had a lot of super chats today, so God bless America. Let's bring this up here, okay? You asked this question to Bucky Brooks. As a scout, how do you view Cade Klubnik? I noticed he wasn't in your top 5 quarterbacks or in Daniel Jeremiah's top 150 overall, his co-host on the Move the Sticks podcast. What are the Jets missing, or is it a worthy dart throw? So I ask you, Kyle Clifton, before you even ask me anything, I ask you, did his answer satisfy your $10 super chat question, Kyle Clifton?
It did. I kind of agree with him. I think he's a worthy dart throw. I wish I had worded the question a little bit differently. Maybe I cheaped out and I should have went for the $20 super chat and basically elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to know if he thought it was good value at that point. Like,
I see what you're saying.
If he's saying that in the 4th round and beyond, everything's a dart throw, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because I think in the top half of the fourth round, you're still going to get some players that can be contributors, possible starters at non-premium positions,
right,
in the top half of the draft. And what we originally had was 7 picks in the top 150, right? So to burn that extra pick on Klubnik, I think Jake has said on his show, and I agree with him. Just take Klubnik at 103 if you there's a fourth round grade on him and you think it's that important, quarterback's that important, just spend the 103 on him.
Sure.
To me, it seemed like they thought that both Darrell Jackson, a developmental player, and Klubnik, a developmental player, were must-haves.
Clearly.
So I'm very curious about how their board fell, because last year was the defensive tackle draft of all defensive tackle drafts.
Yes.
And what happened is we're trying to evaluate Glenn and Muji together.
Sure. Yep.
And originally, it seems like Glenn came in, thought he could win with a 4-3 with Salas players. Didn't work out.
Clearly
So they took a guy that was coming off an injury that had been a Pro Bowler and traded him for a guy who's going to be a centerpiece of a 3-4. So I know they're going to be multiple, but I think you don't do that unless you expect to see a slight majority of a 3-4. Right?
I agree with that. Yes.
So to me, like to draft this guy now and at the top of the fourth round when there's so many other holes that could possibly be filled. I'm just curious. Like, we're never going to know where they had Klubnik rated as opposed to Cole Payton on their board.
Right. They're going to tell us that, right, he's the greatest of all time and all this other stuff with other quarterbacks. No, 100%.
Right.
I hear you. Right.
But, Cole Payton went off at 178.
Right.
Like, they spent a lot of time on him. Would they have been willing to, were they close enough where they would have been willing to take that dart throw on Peyton at 140? Right. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, we're never going to know about. And kind of, I think we all want the same thing here. We want them to fill as many holes as efficiently as possible. And we want to be able to evaluate Glenn and Muji for the go forward. So, it's hard to do when they're changing things midstream as far as what the plan was. Yeah. And to me, it's clear that they're doing that, right?
I agree. Clearly, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. But, I think that Muji has acquitted himself pretty well within that framework.
Yeah.
So far. So, I'm anxious and I'm, thrilled that the early returns on Klubnik are good.
Yeah.
But I would probably elaborate on. So, do you think it was good value there at 110? As opposed, basically because you're saying not a top 5 QB. Jeremiah doesn't have. They do things a little bit differently because that's media, right? They want to give you a different flavor,
right?
But that tells me that they neither of them really thought of him as like a top 120 player or a top 140 player.
Clearly not. And not to make you think about your super chat more, but I wish you would have had that in there, because to me, to hear a former scout where some people had him graded as a 7th rounder, and then they not only took him in the 4th round, but traded up and gave up assets, which you could put into the draft calculator machine to evaluate points of like how much obviously they believed in him. I would have been fascinated to hear his perspective as a scout who is scouting it from a media lens, but from the old days of when he was actually a scout. Like, to me, yeah, that would have been fascinating. Again, not to make you think more, but the super chat question was very interesting. I enjoyed his answer, but I would have enjoyed that next layer, because I think, especially based on his answers throughout the interview, he seemed pretty blunt on a lot of different subjects.
Yeah, I mean, Muji's doing a good job of winning those trades on points, but I agree. I'm kind of failing you in your initial days here on the Believe Network. You tee up this good guess for us, and I should have probably, when you tee that thing up, I got to knock it out of the park.
That's all right. There will be others. We got to go back to the lab, Kyle. Reevaluate, go back to it. But, not bad. You didn't swing and miss. You weren't at the plate. Wasn't a strikeout. Definitely made some contact. There's no question about it. But I thought it was good from Bucky. So I appreciate you engaging during the interview, my friend.
Thanks for your time, BJ.
There he is, Kyle Clifton, baby. And he will be back. He would be back and better than ever for his next super chat question in the middle of that. But good stuff there from Kyle. Yeah, again, to me, the really interesting thing about Bucky as a guest is just like he has worn so many hats. He has been a player. So that perspective to me is fascinating. He's been in the scouting personnel department. That's fascinating. The media landscape for a long time. He also does, for people who don't know, he does a lot of stuff with the Jacksonville Jaguars as part of their broadcast team. So that's interesting too. So he's just been a lot of places. To me, that's super fascinating. Really appreciate it. We have 300 people in the room. Like the video, folks. That is the free way to contribute here on the program. Absolutely love it. Let's keep rolling, though. We got plenty of phone calls waiting patiently to get here on the program. So let's keep this cooking here. Up next on the program. Yes, here he is. He's on the move. It's Easy.
Hey, Paulie.
Okay, you're back at work, Easy. Good news. Nice. Weather must be nice.
Yeah, it's pleasant. Right now, they're building a highway extension called Interstate 540. It's the outer loop around Raleigh. The one that's the tight circle around downtown Raleigh is 440. Now they're building the 540. It's like 3/4 built. Half of it they charge toll for. The other half they don't. So a lot of people get pissed about that, but it is what it is. I don't give a shit, really.
Okay. Yeah, screw those guys. Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to make a point.
Yes, sir.
I think the whole deal with Cade Klubnik and his positivity and his attitude is, it may be as simple as he knows he's a good player. He knows he's a #1 worthy draft pick. He knows he had a bad year. He had 18 first, starters coming back last year. And collectively, all those 18 players let down. They all did.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Not just him.
I mean, they just flat out had a shit year.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Let's go. Come on. So that's why he's got the confidence, because first off, he's got over 40 starts in his collegiate career, which is the Parcells formula. He doesn't like rookie starters. He doesn't. Like, if Parcells was on the team, he would have never taken Zach Wilson for the fact that he only had a season and a half and 1 year that he ever had that was decent on a lesser league. So he would have never taken the kid. He would have never bought into that hype. So I can see that this kid has a starter's mentality, a successful starter's mentality, because he was a successful starter on a top program in the NCAA. So, I mean, they just had a fucking bad year. It happens. I mean, plus to add to that, his leg injuries. And I think didn't he have a bad hand or a bad finger or something for
wrist
for part
and
of it?
ankle.
Wrist
and ankle. Yes.
I mean, what do you need most as a quarterback?
Your hands, I would assume.
I mean, was it his throwing hand? That's the important thing.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check his press conference to see.
So I just think he had a shit year, and it screwed him financially, because he could have been a first or second round pick. I mean, legitimately, he could have been.
Sure.
I mean, he got the whole. I think he let himself down, and his team let himself. He let himself down, and his team let himself down. Let him down. So it was just a bad situation. But everyone says the kid looks really good. And I don't go by the bullshit with this early in the season, but it's better than they saying he doesn't look good at all. I mean, everyone's saying he looks.
Yeah, you just nailed it to me. Like, right, we don't need to put Cade in the Hall of Fame, but if we're being honest, even the most optimistic or pessimistic fan, wouldn't you rather hear that he's doing well than like, oh my God, he can't hit the broadside of a barn? Like, give me all these positive updates. Hopefully they remain positive. I agree. That's a good way to put it.
And the other thing is he's showing leadership.
Yes.
He's saying, hey guys, let's get together. Let's go over this. I mean, they were just doing like little practices in the lobby of or I don't know if it was the lobby or whatever, but he said they were doing little workouts at the hotel. Yeah. So, I mean, let me put this tarp on. So, I mean, all things considered, he was trying to do what he could to, maintain posture with and continuity with these other young players. I sincerely believe he's going to beat out Zappy and Brady Cook
Okay, let's go.
But I still, for his own sake, and this is for his sake now, I hope that they can get Wilson or another bona fide veteran backup just so that he doesn't have to get thrown into the fray. I truly want to redshirt the kid. I mean, I want to see. I want to. I would love to see him at ends of games, though. Like put him in with like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. If they're
we're going to get a taste in preseason,
you know,
right? AG already said it. We're going to see him in the preseason.
Yeah. I think he's going to start. I think he's going to start second halves of every preseason game, except that until that last one when Geno's going to sit out, and I think he's just going to start. He'll probably play 3 quarters in the last preseason game.
I hope so.
I mean, that would be my formula for him.
Yeah.
And as far as the first game of the year, if the NFL was going to be kind, which they're fucking never kind to us, unfortunately.
Well, I have an update.
Situation.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
The best situation is if they start us out on the West Coast for 2 games. Let's start out in Arizona.
Okay. All right.
And then go to the Chargers. Okay. Stay out west for those 2 weeks and then come back week 3 for the home opener.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Hopefully with a 1-1 record.
Sure. That'd be a nice hookup if they did that. Okay.
I think that would be the biggest favor the NFL could do for the Jets because, you know, with the odd schedule this year, we have more away games than home games. So you may as well just start the season out on the West Coast. This way they don't have to travel. They're out there. They go to Arizona. They do their workouts. They play the game, and they either go to LA or they stay in Arizona until Saturday, and then fly to LA on Saturday and get ready for the game Sunday. So at least they're out there. I mean, it's only like an hour and a half trip from Arizona to LA. So I mean, if the schedule makers are being kind to the Jets, I think they should start out their first 2 games on the left coast. Just get it over with.
Mind that.
And now they have a majority of home games back on the East.
Correct. Right.
That would be a very. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sorry, you went through a little bit of a blip there. We got you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So I think some fans will complain. Oh man, no, they're not giving us 2 games to start out the season on the West Coast. Probably the biggest favor they could do because you're just out there, and you know you get out there and you acclimate to the warm weather, especially in Arizona. I know it's played in the dome, but practice outside. Get your wind. Get your game conditioning in. If you can handle practices in Arizona, then you can handle it when you're in the dome.
The good news is if you start out on the West Coast, you marginalize like if you go on West Coast in the middle of the season, that's
all that travel,
from East 100%. But if you do it before the season, we don't have a 4th preseason game anymore. You have 2 weeks before the season, so you have plenty of time to work out whatever travel you want. So it marginalizes playing on the West Coast a little bit because of all that extra prep time. So yeah, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But
it totally takes the bullshit out of it.
Sure.
Because you're out there for a week and a half.
It does. Hey, here is a
no jet lag.
Update.
You're all set.
Here is a schedule update. So hit the music in the back, people. So we all knew that yesterday, the Giants were hosting the Dallas Cowboys at home on Sunday Night Football. As a Jets fan, you may say, what the hell does that have to do? We share the stadium with the Giants. So it made it unlikely that the Jets are going to play at home at 1 o'clock because they can't turn the stadium over fast enough. If you've never been to MetLife.
Exactly.
Green signs. And then basically, it's not as easy as flipping them, but I've been in MetLife when they're switching it because a game was changing the next day or something. They have to flip like every sign. Like for every Chad Pennington sign, they unscrew and flip it, and there's Eli Manning on the other side or whatever. So you have to do all this crap to over from the outside to the inside. So that meant that they couldn't play on Sunday at home. The only chance to play at home in week 1 for the Jets, obviously they weren't playing on Thursday Night Football or Wednesday Night Football the first week. So their only chance to play
Monday
at home
night.
on Monday Night Football. That is no longer possible. The NFL just announced that it'll be the Broncos and the Chiefs playing on Monday Night Football in Week 1, which now guarantees the Jets will play on the road in Week 1. It seemed very likely, but now it's official. They will be playing on the road, so we'll pull up the opponents later, and you guys can look through them all of all the road opponents that we have. The Jets will be, in fact,
and
starting
also
on the road.
And also with the New York media market, you have the Giants at 1 o'clock, and you have the Jets at 4:15 or 4:30.
Sure, you could have. Yeah, they're on Sunday Night Football, so you can't.
This way. Who?
Giants. The Giants are on Sunday Night Football, Week 1.
Oh, okay. But still, the Jets could play a 4 o'clock game on the West Coast.
On the road, yeah, sure. So, right, locally for people, they could enjoy, if you're a Jets.
4 o'clock for us, anyway.
Yes, correct. Right. That's correct.
So that's why I think if they're being kind, they'll give us Arizona and give the Jets maybe a 50-50 chance of winning that first game. Especially, who's Arizona's quarterback now?
Jacoby Brissett right now is the starter.
Right now it's Brissett. He's okay, but he's not
beatable. He's beatable. This is not Patrick Mahomes here. If the Jets play the Cardinals, that is an eminently winnable game for the New York Jets, of course.
But I think if they're going to be mean to us, they'll put us against Herbert.
I would love the Chiefs one, but we can't now because that's eliminated because we're playing on Monday Night Football. So that eliminates the one I called. That was my prediction. My prediction is now officially wrong. I just realized that as well.
With the Jets' luck, they'll give us the game where Mahomes makes his first start.
Probably, yeah.
And he'll
now
be
we're
like,
definitely
I'm going to light it up, right? He'll want to light it up.
Yep. So my prediction was terrible. So yeah.
But I'm hoping that we get the Cardinals and the Chargers for the first 2 weeks, so we can just go out to the West Coast and get acclimated and stay there in the hotels and relax and just let a lot less travel. One leisurely flight out there a week early.
Right.
Get all set, and then you just have a quick, what they used to call in Hawaii island skippers from one island to the other. Which was fucking the worst flight I was ever on in my life, was the flight from the flight from Honolulu to Maui. Yeah. Holy shit. That was a terrible flight, man. Pure turbulence. God, it was terrible. But anyway.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago on my honeymoon.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we did 3 weeks in Maui.
Oh, wow.
3 weeks in Maui.
Crap. Good for you.
But we flew from LaGuardia, or was it JFK or LaGuardia? One of them two, out to LAX. We had a 2-hour layover in LAX, and then we flew from LAX to Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then we had a layover there, and then we flew from Honolulu, Hawaii to the main airport on the island of Maui. And we got those big T-shirts that said "Just Maui'd."
No, that's cute. That's funny. I like that.
Well, because it's a location destination for a honeymoon. It was great. 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Easy.
She was like, "Do you want to see the islands?" I said, "No. I just 3 weeks on the island. It's a long trip. I don't want to travel anymore. We just boom."
Fair enough.
It was good.
Well,
anyway,
safe travels
Boy Green,
the way, Easy.
Stay professional. Don't let these guys turn you into a fanboy. Remember, the reason you got invited onto that network is because you have over 8,000 subscribers. Right. You don't get invited with 4,200 subscribers. It doesn't happen.
No, I don't think
you have over 8,600 subscribers right now. I think by the Super Bowl, the end of this year, especially if we have a good season, you're going to have 10 grand.
That'd be pretty cool, man. That'd be pretty cool. I appreciate that, Easy.
Does YouTube give you a bump up in something when you hit a certain milestones as far as percentages and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, they should make it a little bit more of a merit-based. All right. Anyway, good luck. Let somebody else on.
All right. Thank you, Easy. Thank you for joining us here on the show. By the way, speaking of subscribers, we have just reached another milestone, people who are listening to the show or watching the show here on YouTube. We have surpassed 8,630 friggin' subscribers. Let's go. We are now 9 away from 8,640. Again, we keep climbing. That's it to me. It's Lego pieces. Keep stacking them. Boop, 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 boop. I play with my kids. The Legos. The higher you stack them, the higher it is. The more you stack, the higher it is. So terrific. Thank you, everybody, for reaching another milestone live here on the program. Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Let's ride. All right, let's keep rolling down the phone lines here. We got plenty of callers trying to get on the show, so let's keep this train rolling here. Up next, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton.
Morning, Paul. How are you this morning?
Hey, Shades, like it.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I just I just went to the dentist yesterday.
How did it go?
Well, a little okay. I just got a little scared yesterday.
Oh, yeah, me too. I get scared when I go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as long as you're okay, that's what's most important.
So they put like a temporary crown on there, so I had to wait until they call us to get the official crown.
Right.
So it's gonna take a while so I can stop feeling better, but the numbness went away, but it's still there a little bit, so it's just we gotta take some time.
No, that makes sense.
So how was the interview with Bucky Brooks?
It was spectacular, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton. Thank you for asking. Bucky was a wonderful guest, and he is invited back anytime.
Yep, I'll get him on my show as well, so I can probably get him.
You should. I'll recommend him. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I suggest it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna be a couple of days or something just to get healed and just get my singing voice back up.
Of course.
It's gonna take a while to heal, and I know it's been happening sometimes with teeth and everything. So.
Of course. Well, heal up, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton.
I sure will.
Right. Well, I appreciate you. And keep healing up, buddy.
I will. Thank you, Paul.
There he is, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton, joining us here on the program. Much appreciated. All right, let's keep this phone line train rolling here on the program. Bill is up next. Bill?
Hey, go Jets, go Knicks, and Mets, just go away, will you?
Yeah, boy, that's I'm so sorry for all the Mets fans in our audience.
Well, I'm one of them, bro.
I know you are, and you and so many others.
My heart's out to all my fellow Mets fans out there.
Of course, I need it. Yeah.
Just a quick shout out, full recovery wishes and prayers for Brody, Indy, and now Mikey Midnight, because apparently he had a heart episode and was taken to the hospital the night before, and he still had the strength to call into Jake's show.
Wow.
Connected to the breathing tube and everything. It's like, whoa, what the hell, guy?
Hey, look, he is. Mikey Midnight's here right now. What's up, Mikey?
Mikey, how are you, bro?
Good. I had to call 911 the other day.
Oh,
so they came and picked me up. I'm low oxygen. I was low oxygen, could have breathed so much, but I'm getting better.
Good.
I'm in the Brattleboro Hospital where I work at, but they said to take good care of me here. I still love my Jets and the Knicks. The Knicks go win the championship this year.
Make a full recovery, Mikey. Make a full recovery.
Heal up, Mikey.
Yeah, I promise.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
I do have another week of work off. One more week. We love you guys.
Yeah, well, we love you too, buddy. So keep healing up, okay?
Okay, thank you. Love you.
Yeah, I love you too, buddy. Yeah, there he is.
Well, we have our progress report.
Yeah, Steve, you just brought him up. I'm like, wait a second. Is that Mikey Midnight down there or what?
J-E-T-S, Jets.
All right. There you go. Okay, live report from Mikey Midnight.
Yeah.
I had not heard that, so thank you for that, Bill.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I missed most of the interview because I got up late this morning, but
that's all right.
Nonetheless, I still continue to hear a lot of good things from other beat writers and sports people regarding the Jets draft. So it's encouraging, and obviously once they take the field, we'll be sure as to what we have, and hopefully it will be nothing but good news for our team and for the fan base, which has been waiting for a long time to finally see a good team get on the field for the Jets.
Yeah.
So, Klubnik, obviously we're all hoping that worst case scenario he turns out to be a solid backup quarterback, if not the quarterback. Again, which would be a feather in Muji's cap, because how many quarterbacks have gone through here and we haven't been able to even develop a good backup quarterback, let alone the franchise quarterback. So yeah. So I'm gonna cut it short now. I have other things to do, but I wish everyone a wonderful day. Thank you for all you do. We love the show, and obviously your subscribership properly reflects that.
Thank you so much, Bill. Well, I hope you have a great day, buddy.
Take care.
There he is. Bill joining us here on the show, and a great shout out to Mikey. Mikey, continued health, my friend, for sure. All right, let's go to the legend. He's having his egg sunny side up. I can see it. He's getting a beautiful tan here. Neil Sr. graces us with his presence in a beautiful locale. Wow, Neil. Look
Finally
at
got
this.
some nice weather on Long Island. It's very nice.
Damn straight. Okay, it looks beautiful.
Anyhow, I got the tail end of the Bucky Brooks interview.
Yes, sir.
Some very, very good points. It's nice to hear from a real professional.
Of course, absolutely.
You should do, I'm just going to give you a little, you probably are going to do this anyway, but break up the interview in various segments and put it on YouTube.
Will do.
This way you'll get a lot of traction because everybody wants to hear from him.
No
and
doubt.
that'll really help you out.
Thanks, Neil.
Take one segment to make at least 3 segments or 4.
Yep.
Post them on YouTube and you'll get a lot of hits. You'll get, thousands of hits because of that interview, because he had a lot of good things to say.
I agree.
And it was nice. Real good stuff there. You're a real professional interviewer, Paul. My hat's off to you. You have the right questions and you ask a lot of good things. I want to give a little, plug for Lou B. Lou B is, I got to know Lou B throughout the months. He's really a really great guy. I think he's going to be a fantastic contributor to your channel.
Yes.
I'm looking forward. That is a party I will definitely be attending because I am an AC. I go to AC probably 6 or 8 times a year. I wouldn't
can't wait
worry
to meet
about
you then, Neil. Great.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Okay.
I want to tell you, I wouldn't worry about any security or anything there during the summer.
Okay.
It's really, I've been there during the summertime. They have a couple of beach bars right on the beach that your family will enjoy. You probably want to go either, if you're going to stay, and I'm talking to other people that are listening, you want to stay from, Ocean, which is that hotel, is at the very end of the boardwalk.
Okay.
And as you get further, between the Ocean and Tropicana is really where you want to stay. You don't want to go anywhere past the Tropicana because a lot of the hotels, they don't have a lot of action there, and there's not really a lot of. Ocean has their own security. Hard Rock has their own security. I stay at Caesars because my wife's a gambler, and they give us, comp rooms and all this other crap. Cool. I'm not a gambler. I go there to accompany my wife. I'm her bodyguard when I go. And there's great restaurants. It's a great time for the family. Make a weekend out of it. It's very, very cheap to get rooms. If you book early, a lot of the hotels, the rooms are very, very inexpensive, and you're going to have you could have a nice weekend there and enjoy it. It's, they have bands on the beach. They have a nice boardwalk for the kids, arcades. things along those lines. So, you know, I definitely encourage people to make a weekend out of it. And you'll have a really, really good time. It's a great place. So in the
Okay, I can't
summer,
wait to bring the family. Great.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. You'll be very impressed. I think it's okay. You know, I wouldn't worry about, you know, caring for your wallet and all that stuff. At nighttime, you don't want to be on the boardwalk, you know, past 9, 10 o'clock or in that
Okay.
area.
All
When it
right.
gets dark, you go inside, but during the day, you're going to be fine. And
Okay.
I wouldn't much worry about it. Even taking a walk on the boardwalk at night with your wife or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you're staying at Bally's or Hard Rock or Tropicana or Caesars or any of those hotels, those are the ones to look up. Ocean, the rooms are a little expensive, but even so, I mean, you're going to get, if you book early, because it does get really crowded there in the summer, you'll get a really, really good deal there during that time.
Oh, cool.
So I just want to let everybody know that's definitely a meetup everybody should attend. Lou throws a great parties. He knows what he's doing. That's what he does. And everybody's going to have a great time and he'll see to it. And that's a great, I mean, you got a great lineup there. If you want to meet everybody at one time, that's certainly the place to do it. It's a good atmosphere. We don't have any losses to worry about. And we'll have a good time with a lot of hope and as we always do in the off season. We had a really good off season now to date. One thing I'd like to hope that we do as an exclamation point that I don't think enough people have been talking about is hopefully this kid Sorsby makes the supplemental draft.
Yes.
I don't know what the update is on that, but I certainly would prefer taking a flyer on him instead of taking a quarterback next year. If this kid Sorsby's got a lot of, he's big, he's strong, he's got the starts, he's got a lot of things. He definitely has a headache with the gambling thing, but you know that's something. He's a young kid. You know, young kids do stupid things, and you know. Nobody wanted Marino because he was a problem child, right? And look what ended up happening there. You know, so he's got the talent, and I would prefer taking a guy like Sorsby, even if we give a second rounder for him. That's a guarantee you'll get him, and you know we have first round picks. I mean, think about this. If we get some time with this kid, he could come in on. By the way, he's a running quarterback. He could come in during the season and contribute on certain plays because he could run and throw the ball. That would be, you can make some use for him during the season if you want to. And like I said, we don't know who's going to be the best quarterback next year. And certainly if he didn't have these problems and he went on to have a good year, he'd probably be the first or second or maybe third best quarterback in the draft next year, right?
That's correct. Right.
So I like that. I would love that idea if we took that. Now we have two rookies in the room. We have certainly the coaching staff to develop the quarterbacks now with Frank Reich and our other quarterback coach.
Bill
What's his name?
Musgrave. Yeah. Bill Musgrave. Yeah.
Take these two kids, let Musgrave groom them, take them in, and we have a year head start on our quarterbacks. And you know, now you have two quarterbacks that may potentially be our franchise moving forward. Better, and guess what? If Sorsby ends up being, you know, something we can make use of, I'm sure any team that doesn't get a quarterback next year would certainly pay dearly for one of our two to really beef up our draft. Quarterback is a special position, as we know. Nobody wanted to take this kid at 103. Everybody thought we reached this, that, and the other thing. If he ends up being good, we need a quarterback. Let's face it, guys. This is what we need. We need our quarterback for the future. And as many shots as they take, I'm happy with every shot. Quarterback is like any other position, not like any other position on the field. So I'm happy for that. I just wanted to mention the AC thing, and hopefully we could get this guy Sorsby. I'd like to have him in the quarterback room. And I do not want Russell Wilson. I prefer a backup either being Klubnik or if we get Sorsby or something like that. Let them compete against Zappy and Cook. I mean, Cook is not going to make the team. I mean, I didn't see anything from this kid that gave me any hope whatsoever. He's going to be a professional quarterback. So that one's out. Zappy looked good when he started a couple times.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine, but he has a ceiling. I mean, he's already been in the league. What? This is his 4th year.
Yeah, he's been in for a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't. I'd rather see a guy like Sorsby or take this kid in. We'll see how we are at the end of 8, 9, 10 games. I have as much hope as anybody. I'm hoping that Geno has a resurgent year, and like you were saying, I hope it's his 3 of his last 4 years rather than last year is what we end up seeing on the field. And I'm super excited about the offense. I think this is going to be an offensive year for us. And week 1, I hope we get Tennessee week 1. I'd love to see a meet up in Nashville while the weather's nice.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then we go against Salah. I think that's where they're going, Paul. What do you think about that idea?
I think you're right. So here it is. I just tweeted this out and put this up. So let me turn off the scrolling ticker here for a second. So here are the possibilities. Okay. So because the Giants are hosting the Cowboys.
You're talking about week 1 now, right?
Week 1, 100%. So this is week 1. So the Chiefs are eliminated. They're on Monday Night Football against the Broncos. So obviously they can't play us if they're playing somebody else. So they're out. The Bills are opening up on the road. We're opening up on the road, so we can't play the Bills. That's impossible. No. So now we're down to this 7-pack of possible teams. It's our division of Miami or New England, and then Chargers, Titans, Cardinals, Lions, Bears. Those are the only possibilities. And one of those could be eliminated as another option when they announce the week 1 opponent for Seattle, which could be Chicago. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that, which would eliminate them. It would leave us down to 6 possibilities. So this is it. I think now with the Chiefs off the table, I think the most obvious one is Tennessee.
Because think about it. There's a storyline there. You got Salah, former coach, against us. Yeah. You got a team that took a lot of draft and is going in the right direction versus us, who are hopefully going in the right direction. And that would draw a lot of interest from the fan bases out there. And like I said, I would look really much. I have you been to Nashville? I have not been there.
I have never been to Nashville, and so if the game lines up appropriately, I'll be hitting the road. I'm still doing my home tailgate no matter what at MetLife. But if Tennessee's at the right time, that game's at the right time, I'm going there with everybody else. So that'll be great with me.
That would be the ultimate, because that's a game we have a good chance of winning.
Sure.
That would be a nice road game to start the season off. Oh, yeah. I knew, Kansas City is not going to be a team the NFL is going to put against us to start a season. That's just not happening. Yeah, it doesn't have the storyline. I mean,
definitely not outside of Justin Fields, I guess, if Mahomes isn't ready. But yeah, that's
and I don't want to go to Miami in September. I've been to a lot of Miami games at the beginning of the season. Oh my God,
I've heard those whispers. Yeah, I don't want the weather element there, so I would prefer not. I think we could beat Miami because Miami stinks, but the weather. I don't know if
you don't want to play them in September in that heat. It's really, really bad. It's so oppressive. Yeah. I sat in a game there in September, and everybody at halftime goes in and washes their clothes in the sink and put them back. I mean, it's disgusting. I saw I had a 90-year-old woman next to me at a Miami game. She said, I haven't sweat in 10 years, and I'm dripping wet. So it's bad. It's really, really bad. So let's hope we don't get Miami. Let's hope for Nashville in the first game. We'll get everybody out to Nashville for the opener. It would be fantastic. I think we could have a great away game. That would be the one to have, right, Paul?
Yeah, sure. That'd be
right.
Phenomenal.
It's an opener. We'd be excited. We have a good chance to win. Yeah. We get to stick it to Salah. That would be a really nice way to start. That's all I got. Everybody have a good day.
There he is, Neil Sr. He's got to continue to tan, baby. I love it. So again, to repeat it for audio-only listeners. So here are the latest week 1 nuggets, and we'll get back to the phone lines, okay? The Jets are officially starting on the road. It is official. We don't know against who yet, but it's officially on the road. Why? The Giants are hosting the Dallas Cowboys in week 1 on Sunday Night Football. That's confirmed. So that means the Jets can't play at home earlier in the day. There's not enough time to flip the stadium around. If you've ever been to MetLife, and I have several times for that matter, there are Jets and Giants signs, and there's a lot of busy work that has to happen to make the stadium go from a Jets home game to a Giants home game. Not enough time on a Sunday. So the only other possibility the Jets had to host a game in week 1 was if they were on Monday Night Football. Now, with all due respect to ourselves, that felt unlikely. Why would the Jets, coming off a 3-14 year with Geno Smith at quarterback, who I like, but I don't think the rest of America does, coming off the year he just had, that was not going to be a Monday Night Football game, with all due respect to ourselves. And now that is official. They have already announced it. It will be Chiefs-Broncos in week 1. So a couple of things here. The Chiefs and Broncos being in the first Monday Night Football game means the Jets can't be in that Monday Night Football game. There's no double headers this year in terms of Monday Night Football games. So the Jets can't be at home in week 1. So we're officially on the road. The Chiefs being in week 1 against the Broncos eliminates them as a possibility for week 1. So Chiefs are off the table. The Bills are opening up their stadium in week 2 on Thursday Night Football against the Detroit Lions. So that means week 1, they will be on the road. So it's impossible for the Bills to host the Jets if both teams are on the road. So the Chiefs are out, the Bills are out, and the Jets are officially on the road. So there are 7 possible teams that the Jets can open up the season against, and they are on your screen. But for our audio-only listeners, it is the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, the Arizona Cardinals, the LA Chargers, the Tennessee Titans, the Miami Dolphins, and the New England Patriots. One more team could be eliminated from this list as early as today or tomorrow. We'll see. They normally like announcing who the number 1 game that's going to open up the season, which will be on Wednesday night. There's a lot of buzz that Seattle could open up their season against the Chicago Bears. Obviously, if that happens, that would eliminate Chicago from the Jets list and would take us down to 6 possible teams. So feel free to light up the comment section with whatever you want. My hot take like 3 weeks ago is I thought they're going to open up against Kansas City. Obviously, that's incorrect. That's not going to happen. So now we're down to 7 teams. Those 7 teams I just mentioned. Fascinating. Full schedule drops on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And of course, for our Jets tailgate of obviously massive importance, we'll start to hone in on what games are possible. We want to, for our tailgate, pick a game in September or October. That's our gut. That's what we'd like to do for weather and everything else. So I'm hoping that ends up being the choice for a tailgate this year. We'll see what home games are available in September or October to potentially pick from. So we'll have more details on that soon. We have 300 people in the room. Again, guys, like the video here on YouTube. That's free to do. And over 100 of the 300 are watching on YouTube right now. Hit that subscribe button. We just got over 8,630 subscribers, which is terrific. One more plug. Beat reporter Nick Ferry of JetsXFactor.com will be doing a bonus interview with us on the MC Show digital channel. You'll check it out in our collab section. We talk Jet schedule nuggets and a few other items, so make sure you guys check that out a little bit later today here on Tuesday. All right, back to the phone lines. Up next, Troy Sturgis. What's up, Troy?
Hey, BG. Hey, I missed a bunch of the show.
That's
been
all right.
Kind of busy, but hey, I did catch a little bit of the first part with Bucky Brooks.
Yeah,
that's a big interview, dude.
Thanks,
man. That's a
super
good one,
cool.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
a lot of good content coming out of that, and after that, I kind of on and off again, you know.
That's
But
all right.
where are we at with the Russell Wilson? Is there still a deal on the table? Is that something that's still going on?
So now we're playing the fact or fiction game here, Troy. Who's telling the truth? Russell Wilson says the Jets offered him a contract and strongly implied that it's up to him. Like the contract's sitting on his desk. And if he wants to sign it, he's a Jet. If he doesn't, he's not. The way AG talked on Friday seemed to strongly suggest that isn't the case. And that, hey, we like our quarterback room and we're talking to a lot of veteran quarterbacks, so we'll see what happens. Like, he didn't make it seem like the ball is in Russell's court. So someone's telling the truth, someone's lying. I don't know what the truth is, but either way, while Russell's dancing around in the background, the good news is Cade's getting all these great reps and opportunities. So it's actually a net benefit as he's thinking about his future. Cade's benefiting from it instead of Russell getting those reps. Cade's getting those reps. So I'm all right with that right now.
Right. And if Russell does deny it, who's the next guy? I mean, is that who do we have back out there?
Right. Well, if the Jets say they're talking to a lot of veterans, I don't know who, because there's not a lot out there, and we haven't heard anyone else beyond Russell. So, again, there's Cooper Rush, but I don't know if that does anything for anyone in the audience. And then immediately after Cooper Rush and Russell Wilson, obviously, there's just this massive drop-off. Did the Jets just say, F it, Bailey Zappi, Cade Klubnik, Brady Cook, you guys figure it out. One of you guys is going to be the QB2. We'll see. I figured AG wanted a more legitimate guy, but I mean, we're 2 weeks into May, and this is the room, so maybe not.
Right, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, he's available. That's what I'm talking about, Troy.
No, honestly, just called in to say hey, and I do this every year. My freaking hopes are up, BG.
Let's go.
And I'm ready for this year to get started, and can't wait for all the stuff to start happening. Seeing all these guys go, but looking at our roster and looking at our coaching staff now, I mean, at the end of the year last year, we was all like, oh my God, who's going to come here? Nobody's going to ever come here. And okay, next year, if things don't turn around, and I think it will be. I think things are going to turn around, but there is going to be, I'd say, coaches beating down the door for this
I
team
think so.
for what's going on, and I see a minimum of 7, and I'd hate to say it, but I'm looking at 10.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
10
Let's
wins.
go to the playoffs.
Got to go.
All right. Appreciate you, Troy. There we go. Did Troy just say minimum 7 games for the Jets in 2026? Did Troy say he sees 10?
Playoffs? Are you talking about the playoffs?
The first playoffs in the Boy Green Daily era? Sign me up, baby. That would be marvelous. Let's see if that does indeed happen. That would be freaking awesome for obvious reasons. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. It's Knowledge the Jedi.
Hey, what's going on, Boy Green?
Hey, Knowledge, what's cracking, man?
Hey, I do feel we need another backup veteran. I know that I don't know if he retired again, but I feel there's still some football in him. Teddy Bridgewater. I feel the last time we had Teddy Bridgewater in the Jets building, we didn't give him a fair shake because I felt he was going to be the starter, and they casted him away just because we drafted a QB really high and he was beating him out. So I feel we should bring him back in because he knows he has a high football IQ. So
Sure,
even if he doesn't even play, he could help in the quarterback room because Klubnik, he's a gym rat. So he's going to absorb all that knowledge to whatever you put in there. And
Seems it.
It already shows that he wants to have a cohesion with the other rookies because he's the one that organized them to study the playbook together in the
Right.
hotel.
That's correct.
So it's like he he has a lot of potential, and it's obvious that his college coach felt that he was a gym rat. He's about football. He's about ball. So I think maybe we should reach out to Teddy Bridgewater because Teddy Bridgewater is serviceable. He may not be the prototypical Frank Wright guy, but he's smart enough to know the playbook, help teach in the room. He has a lot of experience. He's been through ups and downs. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, you know what I'm saying? He'll bring something, I feel, a little more. The only thing I think Russell will bring is that
Well,
he
he's
has Super Bowl
unavailable. Let me just
experience.
throw this up real quick. Now, not to cut you off, but I wanted to double check this. He is back with the Detroit Lions. He signed with them in March.
Damn. You know what's crazy? We might end up playing them in the first week.
We could. It's possible. Yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting one for sure? Possible.
Well, I think there's a storyline there. We got our coach from them. Plus, who wouldn't want to play in Detroit early in the season versus when it's cold?
Well, I mean, they're in a dome, so I guess that part.
It don't matter. You still got to be in the cold elements.
I guess that's
practicing,
true.
traveling.
Yeah. Sure.
Anything can happen.
That's true. That's true.
I'd rather them play them when it's at least fair weather. Like the whole dome thing's cool. The whole dome thing's cool and whatever, but you still got to practice outside. You're not practicing in the game facility. You're probably practicing at a local high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be in the elements. I also feel like I didn't get to watch your interview with Bucky.
That's okay. It's on demand. You guys can watch it later. Yeah.
But I really feel good about us this year. I feel good about the front office for the first time in a long time. That's really the plus. With Muji being competent, with the new coaching staff that they put together, with the veterans they brought in, it's very strategic, and it feels like it's been a long time since you felt like that about the Jets front office. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally the Jets have always made splashes to get names in here. Almost felt like we were the Raiders. I know QBs are very important, but I don't want to look like the Cleveland Browns. that we got like 6 QBs in the room trying to figure out who's the guy, and everybody's under 5 years in the league except Watson. So it's just damn, we missed on Teddy Bridgewater. Who is available? Like, is there 5 names of anyone that looks competent that we'll feel like, all right, we could bring them in and help?
All right, let me look. All right, so I don't know how you feel about Russell Wilson, but we know he's out there. Let me go. All right, let me go. Looking it up on the phone. Here we go. NFL free agents, spot track, quarterback. I think I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. I think you guys are going to be very disappointed by this list, I'm afraid. But Cooper Rush, does Cooper Rush do anything for you?
He's capable. He helped the Cowboys when he went out there.
Sure, that's true. Yep, he did. Let's see. And then let's go quarterback here. All
Is
right.
Andy Dalton available?
Nope. He was on the Panthers and they traded him to the Eagles.
Yo, these Eagles just keep getting rich, huh?
That's for sure. What about Aaron Rodgers? You interested in Aaron Rodgers?
Nah, man. I thought he was going back to the Steelers.
Probably, but he's still hanging around. So Aaron, no.
I don't want him. He brings too much. He brings too much to the locker room. That's a distraction.
What about Jimmy Garoppolo? He's considering retirement. You want some Jimmy G action?
He's a serviceable backup. He's proven that for the Patriots.
Yeah, would he come here? Yeah. That I don't know. Teddy Bridgewater's off the table, and now we're in names that I will read them. Former Jets quarterback Brett Rippon. Does that do anything for you?
Nah.
Easton Stick. John Walford. Jeff Driscoll. Is this doing anything for you? That's a list. Yikes! Disgusting.
Nah, man. It seems like if we're not getting Russ or Cooper Rush, it kind of or Jimmy, it kind of seems like we're with the room we got, which just tells me Klubnik's going to be the backup.
Oh, I hope so.
We're in that rookie's going to be the backup right now.
Yeah, as long as he's ready. That's all I want. I don't want them to put him there because he's like they have no other choice. So if he's ready, and what I mean by that is if Geno gets hit by a bus, is Cade Klubnik capable right now of stepping in there and delivering? And if they believe yes, or they believe he will be by the time the season rolls around, great. Then let's roll with Cade. If they don't think that and they're like, oh boy, he ain't ready, then okay, Bailey Zappi's got to be the guy or somebody else. I don't know, but that's the only thing. In a perfect world, it's Cade Klubnik. Yeah,
it's gonna come down to his health. Like he had a down year, and he was talking about an ankle wrist thing.
Yeah.
So if he's at 100% with his health, if you look at his college career in high school, the man wins. So
sure,
I don't think that they would have took him at all if they didn't do all that background research.
Of course not.
On him.
Yeah, they did their homework.
Some people have a down year, and if the whole team had a down year, college football is changing. These people are making money. It's not like they're hungry as they used to be trying to get to the money in the NFL. So anything can happen. And he looks like he's going to study his playbook in and out. So he's going to be mentally prepared. And like Tom Brady said, even though he was on the Patriots, and I hate the Patriots, he said what his superpower was that he was overly prepared, that he knew what was going to happen before it happened. And Klubnik has a lot of experience in college of watching different defenses, especially playing for Clemson, because they always have a pretty hard schedule. So I feel he would be ready, because if they're not breaking down the door of the UFL, or finding people in Canada, or people that aren't even on that list that play in other places that are bigger quarterbacks offering some real money to come over here to poach him, then he must be the guy. Like that they feel that they could trust, that if anything goes down, we could pass him the keys to the car. You know what I'm saying? So I feel confident that he could back up Geno. I also feel Geno got a lot to prove. So as long as nobody does anything wild or something crazy happens to him, he might lead us to the promised land. which is the
Let's go.
playoffs. A lot of people think the
Okay.
promised land is the Super Bowl. For us, it's the playoffs. We need to just get in.
I take the playoffs. I take the playoffs, so let's see what happens. I take the playoffs
For
right
you
now.
to get to the Super Bowl, you got to get in the playoffs. Let's get one step at a time. Let's get in the
Okay.
playoffs,
Crawl before
and
walk.
then let's roll the dice and see what we got with the defense.
Let's hope. Hey, Knowledge, you're the best, baby. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate you, my brother.
There he is. Knowledge the Jedi, baby. And speaking of knowledge, this guy is full of knowledge. Jake Asman, baby, just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here on YouTube. NY Coder Bear. You are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Salute to the great Jake Asman. We'll be on here for a few more minutes, folks. Again, another massive shout out to Bucky Brooks for kicking off our show for a 30-minute chat. If you guys missed it, I highly recommend you guys go back and check it out. We'll certainly be cutting up that interview following Neil's advice and cutting up that interview so you guys can check it out there in the universe. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. C joins us here. C.
Hey, Boy Green. Sorry about the noise.
No worries.
Making, wait a minute.
Oh, you making some food?
Making the bread, man. Making the bread.
Making the bread, like money,
Yeah,
or making bread? What are you talking about?
I make my new hobby.
Oh, the
is
sourdough, right?
Yeah, I make sourdough bread.
Oh, can you show us? Yeah, give us a little peek.
Okay, well, this is my dough that I'm making right now.
All right.
And this is my sourdough starter.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Can you see it?
Lower the camera a little. Ah, now I see it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that has to be fed every day with flour.
Interesting.
And then it kind of ferments. And then it's a very long process. Then you put it in the flour and ingredients. You make the dough, and then you have to, for 2 hours, you have to stretch the dough every 30 minutes.
Wow.
Then you got to let it rise a little bit at room temperature. Then I put it in the refrigerator. That's called cold fermentation for about a day or two. And then you bake it.
Wow.
It's
this
really
must be the greatest bread of all time for you to go to these lengths.
Yeah, sourdough bread's really good for you. It's very good for your gut.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hey, I listened to you need another hobby sometimes,
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, Buddy Brooks' interview was really good. I enjoyed listening to him. It was really great that you had him on your show. I mean, this guy's a pro's pro,
Oh, yeah. People know that name. When you have that kind of guy on the show, there's no question. So I'm very honored that he took time this morning to come on.
And, as far as a quarterback, I've been thinking about this, but I haven't really looked into it.
Okay.
A name that used to be on the Jets, Adrian Martinez.
Adrian. Where's he at? Let me take a gander.
I don't
here.
know. I don't
if he's still in San Francisco or where is he?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me do a quick Google search. Where is Adrian? He's on the 49ers right now.
Yeah. See, he's a guy. I thought the Jets should have kept him around as a backup. He was always better, I thought, than the guy they kept.
Yeah.
He had success in the, I don't know if it was the UFLN, but whatever, but I think he was a serviceable backup. And,
he seemed
yeah, now looking at the choices we have right now, I think their best choice right now is to just go with what they got. Then bring one of these Cooper Rushes in, or I think one of these guys that they got right now. I don't see Brady Cook. I don't even know why he's still on the team. I just really don't understand that whole thing.
Not good. Yeah, not good.
But I think, and if you wait until a little later, you're going to have cut downs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be backup guys out there that are probably, you'll have more of a choice than the names that are out there right now. So I wouldn't just jump on a guy like Wilson right now. I think I'd wait until, when is it in June that they have the cut downs?
No, August. So yeah, we still have a long time before we have cut downs.
Yeah.
August.
But I mean, I don't think there's any desperation right now. I think that there will be somebody out there in August, you know?
They could
We've
just
had
get
luck.
patient. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had luck before with players that we've picked up late in the preseason or the off season, but I just don't think we need to rush right now. I know fans want that news. We want to hear something. We want to get settled, but I think if you look at what the Jets have done already, you got to just feel good and you have to say, look, let's give these guys a little time. I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, patience is a virtue. I think we all want everything instantly right now, and your sourdough bread creation is a great microcosm of what we need. Good things come to those who wait. Some TL. Yes.
Exactly. And I think that will. Same thing with linebacker. We picked up a linebacker we just signed undrafted from Virginia Tech, who I've seen play. I live in Virginia.
Okay, Jaden Keller.
And,
okay.
Yeah, and I, you know, he hasn't played much, but you know, look, these guys look at a player and they can see something that I can't see. You know what I mean? They do this for a living. I don't. I just watch.
Yeah.
So there's gonna and you know, and then again in August, there's gonna be some guys that get cut. There's gonna be a linebacker out there. I'm not worried about that right now.
That's fair.
So let's be patient. You know, like waiting for the sourdough to be made.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But anyway, listen. Good Buddy Brook interview. Nice talking to you.
Thanks, bud.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. And good luck with your sourdough bread making process. It was cool to bring us behind the scenes. So thank you so much. See, that was awesome, man. Appreciate that. And again, other hobbies, a passion. That's cool. And it's healthy for you too. That's super cool. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Bucky Brooks was great. Like I said, we'll be cutting up that interview. Appreciate you guys. I try to bring you as great of guests as I can. I love that we get a lot of solo show opportunities where we get to just chat. So not every show is down your throat with a guest. So I think we have a good balance, hopefully. But yeah, if there's other guests that you guys want in the future, let me know. Bucky was great. I have other people on my hit list I'd love to get one day. So we'll see if I can continue to knock them off and bring them in. A couple of things to wrap up the show. Again, we have 300 people in the room. If you guys would like to support the show, there is a free way to do it. It is by liking the video. We have 300 people in the room, including over 100 currently on YouTube right now. If you listen on the Believe Network out there, if you listen in any other respect, if you watch on Facebook or watch on Twitter, you could do me a massive solid if you enjoy the show to go over to YouTube. It's youtube.com/@boygreen25 and subscribe to the channel. That helps get this show off the ground. That's a big money maker for my show. That's how I butter my bread for my family. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Obviously, the more subscribers, right? Easy says earlier in the show, do you get like a bigger cut or something? Well, not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I haven't been that high. But no, really all it does is put it in front of more people. If 10,000 people are subscribed to the channel, then 10,000 people can see the show. And other people in the universe and it keeps growing and getting in front of other people. So any love and support you guys can show, whether you tell a friend, a family member, or you yourself, again, listen on the Believe Network or Twitter or Facebook, go on over and subscribe. It is absolutely free to do. Thank you again to Bucky Brooks for joining us off the top of the show. And thank you for all the gifting that took place here on the program. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Kyle Clifton with the $10 super chat during the show. NC Green with the super chat. Chubb for Club gifting a membership. Harvey Bouchard Jr. for gifting 5 memberships. Max sent in a $5 super chat. EZ sent in a $2 super chat. The Tennessee Jets sent in a $2 super chat. Fastest Food Review sent in a $2 super chat. Austrian Jet Fan #1 sent in 20 freaking memberships. And of course, the great Jake Asman also gifting a membership here on the YouTube channel. Again, we'll have a Nick Faria interview dropping later this morning, a bonus interview. We should also still have him coming up on Thursday as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show. Let's go Jets. Jet schedule drops on Thursday, baby. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next time. Take care.